Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Now, today we're going to be diving into one of the most pivotal moments in LGBTQ plus history, the Stonewall Uprising. Now, this is a story about courage, about resilience, and about the everyday people who became heroes. Now, Stonewall wasn't just a protest, it was the beginning of a movement that would change the course of LGBTQ plus rights forever. And while we've made incredible progress since then, we still have a lot of work to do. Now, to understand why Stonewall was so explosive, we have to look at what LGBTQ plus life was like before it. In the 1960s, the queer people had almost no rights and faced serious prosecution. It was illegal in most states to simply be openly gay. Many queer people and many queer-friendly bars like the Stonewall Inn operated under the radar, often paying bribes to police just to keep the doors open. But despite these payments, police still raided these spaces regularly, using the threat of violence and arrests to try to keep us silent and invisible. Now, the Stonewall Inn, located in New York City's Greenwich Village, became a crucial gathering spot for queer people. It wasn't just any bar, it was a sanctuary for people who had nowhere else to go, especially transgender people, homeless youth, and people of color who were rejected by society. Here they could be themselves, away from the hostile world outside. And among many of them were Marsha P. Johnson, a black transgender woman and an activist, Sylvia Rivera, a young transgender woman and revolutionary, and Storme de la Varre, a butch lesbian who was known for her bravery in standing up to the police. Now, these individuals and others like them didn't set out to be heroes. They were just trying to survive in a world that didn't want them. But on the night of June 28th, 1969, they became something much more. Now, in the early hours of June 28th, 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn. Now, by this time, the patrons and the community outside had reached their breaking point. Instead of retreating, they resisted. Now, as police began arresting people, a crowd started gathering, refusing to back down. Storme reportedly threw the first punch that night, igniting the anger that had been simmering for so long. Now imagine the scene, bottles being thrown, bricks flying, people chanting and pushing back against armed officers. People like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera were there on the front lines fighting not just for themselves, but for an entire community. And in that moment, they transformed from marginalized individuals into heroes, leading what would become the Stonewall Uprising. Now, for the next 6 nights, the uprising continued as crowds returned to the Stonewall Inn. They faced tear gas, physical force, and arrests, but they refused to be silent. These were not just protests, they were declarations of dignity and identity. The courage of Marsha, of Sylvia, of Storme, and countless others fueled a shift that rippled out across the nation. Now, this bravery inspired others to organize. Soon after, activists founded groups like the Gay Liberation Front, the Gay Activists Alliance to keep the momentum going. These groups held rallies, demonstrations, and eventually the first ever Pride March. See, Stonewall wasn't just a single night of rebellion, it was the start of a movement that demanded recognition and respect for LGBTQ plus lives. Now, since Stonewall, we've seen incredible progress. Queer people fought for and won the right to marry, to serve openly in the military, and to express our identities more freely. We've created spaces of acceptance and built a community that supports one another. But the truth is, this fight is not over. And even now, queer rights are under attack in many parts of the world, and even in our own country. Queer youth, particularly transgender youth, face alarmingly high rates of homelessness, of depression, of suicide, of harassment. Hate crimes are still a harsh reality, and new anti-queer legislation keeps appearing. The heroes of Stonewall fought for our right to exist and to love freely, but we still have a long way to go to ensure true quality and safety for everyone. Together, we can make a difference. I want all y'all to know that I'm committed to being part of this fight too. My goal is to use this platform to help those in need and to honor the courage of people who came before us. I will always do that. So let's remember Stonewall, not just part of our queer history, but as a reminder of the bravery that got us here and the work that remains. It's up to us to continue the fight, to support one another, to vote for leaders who champion equality, and to never, never back down. A little thing about me and my channel: I believe deeply in giving back to the world that gives to you. I think so many people out there gain a little influence, start making a little bit of money, and keep it all for themselves, like a dragon sitting on a pile of gold, but not me. You know, I really wanted to do this for a long time, and I do understand that having this channel is not just about having a platform. It's about using it for good. I wish more people did so. I'm here to support the queer community always. It's a community that has given me love, belonging, and a family. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I want to pay that forward always to anyone who ever needs it, whether that's someone struggling with acceptance, or whether they're searching for community, or just needing to feel seen. Every single time you subscribe or support my channel, you're going to help me get back to. A percentage of everything I ever earn will always go to causes close to my heart, like the Trevor Project, to help queer youth who might be struggling to find their way. This channel isn't just about me. Now, thank you so much for watching and being a part of this journey. If you believe in equality and making a difference, please like, subscribe, and share this video. I mean, together we can honor the legacy of Stonewall. We can build a future where no one has to fight for the right just to be themselves. So with this, just to let you know, what I'm going to do, because I have realized a lot of our younger queer people, even older queer people, don't even really realize that there is a rich queer history. Gay men, lesbians, transgender people that date way, way back. Of course it does. And there's just a lot of rich history that I want to share. I want people to know. I want all of us in the queer community to know about our histories, because it is only when we know our history, we know how to move forward. If we look in the past, it's only when we look at history, see the terrible things that have been done to people, to learn from our mistakes. That's the only way that we can move forward. And I just want to be a part of that process. I want to be part of the queer community, and anywhere I can, I want to give back. And I just feel like doing this, dressing up in drag, using all those years of experience. I thought this character was done, and I just decided, you know, at 50 years old, I want to break her back out. I love being a makeup artist. I love doing wigs. I still love it. And I thought I was done, and I'm not. So please help support me. Help and support me, please. Like I said, I'm going to bring little snippets of queer history so we can learn about our histories. My eyes are red. Hopefully I can fix that in post. This is my real hair. It is.